Hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm going to have to make this quick because the sun's just about to get to the top of that tree and it's going to be right in my eyes here just momentarily. Just got done watching video from ex-JW Elder's wife, Jane Doe, and her take on Samuel Hurd's convention talk, God's Moral Standards. When I watched Marcus Vaughn's take on that same particular talk, it's very apparent that God's moral standards, like Jane Doe says, is a joke. It truly is. But something that Jane Doe said in her video that caught my attention was found at Deuteronomy chapter 21 in verse 15. Now, Jane Doe did not bring this out, and I don't know whether she actually had this in mind or not. So I'm going to bring it out here. Thank you very much, Jane Doe, for what you've been doing, because if Jehovah's Witnesses can't see this after reading it, they're truly enslaved mentally. Or they don't recall Jehovah's standards, his moral standards, from a past episode. But I want to reread that scripture, Deuteronomy 21:15 and 16. In case a man comes to have two wives, the one loved and the other hated, and the loved one and the hated one have borne sons to him, and the firstborn son has come to be of the hated one, it must also occur that in the day that he gives as an inheritance to his sons what he happens to have, he will not be allowed to constitute the son of the loved one his firstborn at the expense of the hated one's son, the firstborn. As Jane Doe was reading this, I could not help but recall the patriarch Abraham. I think most of you friends now know where I'm going with this. Ishmael. See, I did a video on this showing from the New World Trash Translation that Abraham married Hagar. She became his wife. When I saw Jane Doe reading this, I could not help but see the whole story of Abraham in this. And what did Abraham do? Well, Jehovah's moral standards. And if you're a Trinitarian type Christian, you have to realize that this is Jesus' moral standards also, because you made Jesus Jehovah, the God in the Old Testament. The problem that this presents is that in case a man comes to have two wives, well, Abraham came to have two wives, and we know that both of those wives bore him sons, Isaac and Ishmael. We know that Sarah came to despise Hagar, and Sarah wanted Abraham to send Hagar away, and Yahweh, Jehovah, Jesus, came in and said, listen to the voice of Sarah, send Hagar and her son away. Well, being the firstborn son of Hagar, how come Ishmael did not get double the inheritance? All Abraham did was send him out in the desert to die with a bottle of water. Go back and read that account, friends. Prove me wrong. You can't do it. The problem is that the people, Jehovah's Witnesses, think they know this book so well. They think this book does not contradict itself. This story, this scripture alone is a contradiction of Jehovah's moral standard. See, if Jehovah had the same moral standard that you're reading in Deuteronomy chapter 21 and applied to Abraham, Ishmael would have been sent out with more than enough food, water, and wealth to live the rest of his days in comfort. And yet, what do we see? We see an age-long civil war between two brothers, Israel, Isaac, and Ishmael, Islam. That's what you guys see, because the God in this Bible, Yahweh, does not have a high moral character. His moral value changes as he sees fit. Otherwise, Ishmael would have not been sent out to die. Think about it, Jehovah's Witnesses. Think about what I just said. Go back and read these accounts and compare these accounts to the law. The God that you worship, that you claim has a high moral standard, he's nothing but a lying, gutter-dwelling, swamp-dwelling God. I know this is harsh for a lot of you people, but at the same time, this God, through this book, is killing you. You're losing your lives, you're losing your inheritance, and some of you that have allowed your children to die in the operating room for a flip-flop blood doctrine, that's the God you worship. It's not that hard. Take Watchtower's advice, Jehovah's Witnesses. Take advantage of the study tools and study. But the problem is your enslavement, it belongs to you right here. This is your enslavement. If you can't read and see the contradiction in all of this, then you're trapped within your own mind. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye.